So we had a lot of fun crushing baby Godzillas, right? We all know how much fun it was to go on our kids being, late after their curfew, and on, people spending a little bit too much money on their credit cards, and maybe having a couple of too many drinks at the cocktail party, and that's fine. It's a lot of fun. The question is this: what process do I use? John, help me out here. Give me a process, and I'm willing to take this on. Give me something I can do to nip those problems in the bud. Pulling those weeds when they're weeds, making sure that cut on our finger doesn't turn into an infection and we have to go to the emergency room. We know the concept. Give me a process. I know how to wash my hands. I know how to pull weeds. Give me the tough stuff, which is having a conversation with somebody that doesn't ruffle their feathers, something that I have the courage to say, and a process that I can use over and over again and duplicate. Give me that and I'll be happy. Would you call it a good day, everybody, if you got that? Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and give you this process. And let's call it before you ground them, okay? Before you take away their keys, before you cut their allowance, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to use an example with one of our children, because how many of you? I see a bunch of people nodding. All right. So here's the behavior. We have a wonderful son, a little bit headstrong, as sons tend to be at that age of, 2 to 25 in there. So our son has just earned his driver's license, and he's feeling his oats, and he has missed his curfew twice. And we want to stop the behavior now so we don't have to worry about getting the CHP knocking on our door or any of those other really scary things that we as parents worry about, right? So this is the process, and this is how it sounds. Joe, come in here. I'm looking at your report card again, and I am just so pleased. You got your car, and you're a social guy, and you're feeling your oats a little bit. We'll talk about that later. I am so pleased you're keeping up your GPA. That's excellent. Now, Joe, I need to raise an issue with you. Remember when we bought you the car, we agreed to some standards, some behaviors that you'd have to meet in order to keep that car. And the 4.0 is one of those things, right? 4.0 is one of those things. What was the other thing? No, you don't remember. Well, I think you do remember. The other thing was you were going to keep to your curfew during school, especially on school nights. You were going to be home by what time? 8:30. Seems a little crazy, but you have a tremendous schedule at school. There's no way you can get back after 8:30 and get everything done and get enough sleep. And guess what? Here's what I think's going on. In your excitement, having this car and having this freedom and wanting to impress and all the other stuff, I think that you have subconsciously or unconsciously let that slide a little bit. You haven't been paying attention to your watch. You haven't been paying attention to the time on your cell phone because you're just busy having fun. And I understand when I got my first car, I was the same way. I actually probably did a little worse job than you did. My parents called me on it, and that's why I got to keep my car through high school. So what's the impact here? If you keep doing this, you're going to lose the car. And that's going to be a little tough to explain to your social circle how you had a car and you no longer do. The other thing it's going to do is if you keep doing it, even if we let you keep the car, you're going to be short on sleep. It's going to impact your grades, your energy level, all the rest of that stuff. You need your sleep. You need to keep to this. You need to keep to this process. So what I think is that you have subconsciously or unconsciously fallen into this pattern or behavior. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pull the car keys. I'm not going to go ahead and make any changes right now. What I want you to do is simply self-monitor and be more aware of time. I want you to be more aware of your curfew. I want you to take control of your life and make sure that you hit the standards that we both agreed to. Okay? That's the agreement. Now, what I also want you to do is sit down with me next Friday at about the same time and go over this to see if you haven't subconsciously or unconsciously fallen into that pattern of behavior, just got so excited that you quit paying attention to those deadlines because they're real important. That curfew is important. Think you can do that? Excellent. Thank you, son. And once again, I am so proud of how well you're doing in school. Great job.